Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, whatever it is, whenever you're watching this. My name is Shannon Bellum. You are watching Whiskey and Wool. This is a channel about knitting mostly and yarn making, spinning, all of those. I've really been down a spinning rabbit hole lately, so this might be more of a spinning heavy episode, but I just wanted to check in with you and do a little update of what I have been working on the past, I think it's been like 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. So welcome new viewers. If you here for the first time, I hope you enjoy. Please like and subscribe this video. That will help my little channel get more traction in the YouTube algorithm. Been thinking a lot about that algorithm lately and ways to beat it. I know of a few. But anyway, I digress. So yeah, let me just get started. I don't think I'm going to be on for very long this week. I have 2 finished objects. One is not here. I'm going to put a picture of it on screen. I made a Racerback tee for my Breeze Racerback by Jessie Maed for my niece, and so I finished it and I shipped it off. I had also made the bralette. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the names. I'll pop it on screen of what the pattern name is, also by Jessie Maed. So I had made her a bralette out of my scrap yarn, and then I made her a Breeze Racerback out of this GarnStories. It's like a beautiful periwinkle and gold colors, and it's striped. You'll have seen the picture by now. It's striped in a really cool way. This is what I have left of a single skein. I made size small for her, just followed the pattern exactly. Oh, I forgot to tell you I'm wearing the As If tee, which you've seen before if you're a returning viewer on the channel. I'll link my project page if you're interested, if you're a new viewer and you're interested in what I'm wearing. But this is the As If tee by Shay Johnson. I love it. Love, love, love. It's actually kind of warm today, but it's still morning, so it's cool right now. It's going to be very hot later, and I will not be wearing this for very much longer this morning. But yeah, that's my first finished object, the Breeze Racerback. My second finished object is the Vertices Unite Baby Blanket by Stephen West. It's right here. I got very excited about this project when I realized that it's a good way to use up single skeins of DK weight and also single skeins of fingering weight yarn. So I looked at what I had left. It also can make a very nice scrappy project. Let me show it to you first, and then I'll natter on about it. So it's if you're not familiar with the pattern, it is a unique shape. So I sort of think of the shape like a rocket ship, because there's this point on one side, and then the bottom is shaped like, yeah, it's got like this faceted shape, and it's all garter, so it's all the entire thing is garter stitch. It's done in modules. You start with this center one. This is 2 rows of each color, so one garter ridge of each color, and then he gives a schematic. I don't think I have the pattern handy, but he gives a schematic of each module, and it's 5 colors. It's meant to be 5 colors. So he gives a schematic of this section is color A and B, and then this section is color D. This section over here is color C and D, I think, or this is E. I guess this rainbow one is E. And yeah, so he gives you a schematic so you can sort of figure out like what 2 colors will be together in the pattern. So as I said, I use this for this is actually one module right here. I ran out. So I was using this as a eat up my dribs and drabs, my bits and pieces, my partial skeins that were left over from other projects. So I approached it like that. I did not use any full DK weight single skeins. I did use up a bunch of partials. I absolutely used up all of this turquoisey blue that is a DK weight by the Periwinkle Sheep called the Warm Mew. It's the colorway for a local yarn shop that's in Chatham, New York, that I had gone to one day when I was in upstate New York on the weekend. I didn't use up all the orange that I put in here. What I had done, I'm sort of getting ahead of myself here, and I'm sorry, I apologize if I'm bouncing around on this project. I always have so much to say. I have so many things that I want to tell you about each project that I just kind of go in a mishmash of a way. I'm trying to say everything at once. So sorry. I hope you're following along. Okay, so what I did was I grouped my bits and pieces, my partial skeins of DK weight by color. So I put a collection of pink together, pink and orange. I put the orange with the pink. I did some blue. I had one partial skein that was yellow, like a bright yellow. It was enough to get me through the 2 of the 3 sections that were meant to be yellow. So I absolutely used every last bit of it up, of the yarn up, which was awesome. That's the point, right? When you have a scrappy project, you really want to use up every last bit. Maybe you have a tiny bit that you just are cutting off, and however you recycle your yarn bits. And then I put together a multicolor, I had some multicolored skeins that were, rainbow, I guess, or kind of rainbow-like. And I ended up, when I got to this rainbow section here, I realized that a couple of my skeins, my rainbowish skeins, were kind of leaning more towards pink, so they were reading pink. So I decided to pull out a fingering weight skein. So this is a skein of Knitted Wit, the Knitted Wit Victory Sock, in the colorway Fairy Garden. And it had a blue base, so I knew it would be quite different from the pink multicolor, which is here. So you're kind of seeing the pink multicolor in there. And I held 2 strands together to get DK weight. So this fingering weight, this was the weird thing that happened though when I did that. So this blanket is supposed to be made out of 5 skeins, all of which are under 200 yards. So the two colors I think use 200 yards, and the other 3 colors use less than 200 yards. So this fingering weight skein was 420 yards. So holding 2 strands together, I should have gotten 210 yards. But what happened was I used almost the entire skein in this one block. So then I went back into my stash and looked for a second skein of fingering weight, and I found that was rainbow-like, and I found this, and blue-based. I wanted a blue-based fingering weight. So I pulled out, this is Junkyarn fingering weight yarn. So I think it's her sock base. It's in it. I bought that, yeah, super smooth sock 4-ply in the colorway Holly Golightly. She names Junkyarn, if you're not familiar, she names all of her colorways after women, I think. They're all after females. So, or female, like fictional or non-fictional female characters and people. I believe it's both. I'm not sure, but I think all the names are female-centric. So yeah, I pulled out this skein, and I did the same thing, and so that got me through the rest of the rainbow sections that I for my colorway E that I was using in the blanket. I'm so pleased with it though, and it was just so much fun to play around with these colors. I think you can get a good sense of it from looking at it that way. So it is for one of my friends is pregnant, and she knows she's having a boy. I used the yellow was supposed to have been the trim. That was color A in the pattern. So it was supposed to also be the trim. And I pulled a navy worsted out of my stash, that partial skein. I actually didn't even use it all up. It's a Pearl Soho worsted twist. And I just used that, and I thought it really just brought together all the colors with it. But I enjoyed so much using stash. It was just such a pleasure to knit, and it goes so fast. Like I really trucked along very quickly on this baby blanket until I got to the trim, because then it was like, I think it was around 600 stitches that you I-cord bind off. But I actually managed to get the I-cord bind off done in about, from beginning like early evening. I think I I almost got it completely done just watching a movie and a movie and a half or so, and then I put it down and picked it up the next day and finished it. So it really wasn't that bad. I was dreading doing it though, so I imagined it much worse than it actually was. But what a fun project. I definitely will be making more. I think when my dribs and my bits and pieces, my little partial skeins, I think when they start getting me down, I'm going to put together a grouping and make a new, another baby blanket, because there's always a baby that needs a blanket. And this is so much fun. Like, if you can get over the fact that baby blankets must be rectangle or square and just go with it. I mean, because babies aren't rectangular shape or square shape. They're kind of wobbly and all over. And this is fine for a baby blanket. I really, really hope that this blanket becomes the little boy's favorite blanket and that he'll drag it around the house and stuff. I think it's bright and colorful, and colors that a child would be attracted to. They love colorful things. So yeah, I'm so happy with this, and I can't wait to gift it to her. Her shower's in a couple weeks, so she will get it then. And it's all superwash. I made sure it was all superwash so it would be easy and convenient to clean. That's my other challenge with pulling together my DK weight scraps, is that a lot of them are non-superwash, so I would have to be very careful about who I gifted that to. I am sort of putting together, I have a lot of orange and pink and like deep red toned scraps of DK weight that are superwash, so I may be doing something around that. That would probably be more girly, though parents these days tend to be more gender neutral in their color choices, so I don't know though. I will keep you posted on that. So yeah, those are my two FOs, and then I have lots of whips to show you, as well as a bunch of spinning. So let me keep moving along here, because I said it wouldn't be too long. So all right, that's spinning. That's future knitting. Okay, let's do what Martha's wearing. So, as you can see, I've made a little progress on my Alice cardigan by Isabell Kraemer. I have made one sleeve, and I have another sleeve about halfway done, plugging along on it. This is a DK weight sweater. let me show you the details of the yarn, and then I'll talk to you about the knit. Oh, by the way, this is a new acquisition I got. This is a Fat Squirrel project bag. This project bag made me more excited about this sweater. I don't know why. Like, just seeing this project bag sit around. I've been eyeing Fat Squirrel project bags for a long time, and I stalk her page, her website every once in a while. I take a peek at it. If I see something that she's posted online, or I watch her channel, I get excited about some of the things that she's selling, and she's almost always at Needles Up. That's one of the indie dye / indie project makers, like indie fiber market stuff. That's on the Friday before Rhinebeck, before the New York Sheep and Wool. And I noticed this year she wasn't listed, so I was kind of a little bummed. And then I just stumbled upon a sale that she was having, where she had like whatever update. She did a shop update. It wasn't a sale. She had done a shop update. So I quickly snatched up this project bag, which is perfect for a bulkier DK weight, like a full sweater. It's much better than, I adore my French field bags. They're great for fingering weight projects in particular. You can pretty much fit a whole fingering weight sweater in there, but bigger sweaters like this, they just kind of spill out the top of those bags. So this is just perfect, and I can zip it up, and I don't have to worry about my kitty getting curious, or other issues. Maybe if I'm traveling, like it's gonna stay in the bag. So yeah, love it. Love it. I got two, actually. I got this one, and then I got this one. This is a slightly smaller one. I think this is large, and this is a medium bag. But the medium bag is still bigger than the French field bag. and it has a zipper. And it's so, I'll show you what's in here later when I talk to you about my spinning. Because I also thought this could be a good, like, throw my spinning stuff in here if I'm gonna travel, like put my extra components and stuff that I may need while I'm away for the weekend with my spinning wheel. Anyway, that was a digression from my work in progress. This sweater is the Aileas cardigan by, so let me tell you about the sweater first. The Aileas cardigan by Isabell Kraemer. Before I tell you about the yarn, I will pop a picture on screen instead of showing you. I can show you these illustrations of the sweater. So you can see it's like a DK weight sweater. It has it's all a top-down knit. It has a set-in sleeve that you knit with short rows. You go back and forth. It's interesting. Her method of doing the cap was a little different than mine, and I don't know. I think I did one way and one another way, but I don't think I was checking it out like at the join on the here. Let me take this off so I can show you at the sleeve join. I think it worked out okay. I can show you up close. Don't mind the cat hair. I get a lot of love when I'm knitting. A lot of kitty love. But I actually really I love the fit. Like the fit, Isabell Kraemer does an awesome job with the fit of her specs. It's one of the reasons why I really like her patterns, as opposed to some of the other knitwear designers are a little sloppier about their spec. And she really seems to take care. It fits my body type, so I guess that's another thing. Like you have to see what fits your body type. I find that, I know this is probably not 100% true. I know it most definitely was not true when I worked in the garment industry. I'm a former Fashion Avenue knitwear designer, so I did knitwear for commercial work. But I find that the body type of the person who's doing the design will inform the spec. So if you find a designer whose body type is more like yours, you're more likely to be happy with the spec, I think. But she's an exception because she and I do not have the same body type. She's very boyish figured and petite, where I have a lot of curves. But it works. It's still, I think her specking, whoever she gets to help her or tech edit or whatever, it's probably herself by now, like in terms of her specking, like she probably has a pretty good idea because she's been so prolific. Anyway, yeah, love her patterns, and I knit plenty of them. Okay, so my yarn is from Green Mountain Spinnery. It is the Mewsic base, which is a DK weight, 100% American fine wool. I had bought this at Rhinebeck last year, this yarn, and the skeins are small-ish. I had worried that I thought that I may have too much, but other than this skein, which I've used about maybe a quarter of it, and I'll probably use most of it to finish this sleeve. I'll have a little bit left, I think. I still have 2 more balls of this yarn, and I have to do a collar, which is, you can see this has a very deep scoop, but it also has a very high collar on it. And then it has pretty wide plackets, as I think you saw in the pictures, like button plackets. So I'll probably get pretty close to the yield. I'll probably use up, I don't think I'm going to have a full skein, though maybe I will. Full extra skein. I think I'll have, sorry. I think I'll have a partial skein, or mostly full partial skein left on this sweater, which is fine. Like, that's perfect. But it's more non-superwash DK, so maybe for my non-superwash DK Vertices Unite, maybe I should do a Vertices Unite. No, the shawl is fingering weight. I really like that this is DK weight because I think it's a good weight for a baby blanket. Okay, yeah, so that's one whip. The other whip that has been getting lots of attention is my other Isabell Kraemer pattern, come to think about it. This is the Chauncey sweater. Oh my goodness, the title went right out of my... The Chauncey sweater, which I'll put a picture on screen from her pattern website. I am making this for the glorious gold along with dunderknit, or of the Knitting Vicariously podcast or channel, YouTube channel. So here's where I'm at so far. I have split for the sleeves. I think last time I showed this, I was still working on the color work. So I've completed the color work and split for the sleeves, and I'm in that wonderful, mindless, just knit and don't think about anything, or let your mind wander, or watch a good movie or whatever, or read a good book while you knit pieces, or social knitting. So it's really awesome. I have to knit about 10 more inches, I'd say, of just lovely, gorgeous stockinette. So very happy about that. Yeah, let me tell you about the yarn. Okay, so I am using, the base is this beautiful gold, which will be perfect. Oh my gosh, the sun is just beaming in the window over there. I'm using this beautiful gold by O Wool, and it is her O Wool fingering. Boy, I don't know what is wrong with me not having my tags with me. Oh wait, maybe they're right there. Okay, this is where all the tags are. That's why I don't have them with me. My spare yarn, my yarn that I think, actually I bought 4 skeins, but I think this is a 3 skein project. So there's the ticket. O wash fingering, so it's a super wash organic, 100% certified organic super wash merino. Yes, certified organic merino. Fingering weight. She does all different weights, this vendor. The color is called The color is called Feldspar. Yeah, okay. And then the beautiful yarn that you're seeing in the yoke. So this pattern is designed to be 2 colors. The base color, and then you pick one color for the color work. I chose a Spincycle yarn. So Spincycle. Do I have it handy? Oh yeah, I do. So this is the skein. I thought, when I looked at the yardage, that's the color I used. It's called Truthbomb, and it's a natural rainbow. I have a full one here. It's a natural rainbow skein. So you're not really seeing the blue, like you're not seeing such a clear rainbow on this one. This is a little more muted colors, but it's the same colorway, Truthbomb. I thought this pattern called for what the yardage of this. I thought I'd need about 1 1/4 skeins of this. I didn't even use a full skein. So I thought I was going to get through the full rainbow. Like you can see there, I ended with the yellowy green, and then it was supposed to go into some orangey reds and rust, and then brown, and then back to blue again, and then green, as you see on the outside. I didn't get that far though. I didn't even use 1 full skein. So I got through it started with a let me get it up close to you. It started with a grayish purple, went to like a periwinkle color, then a royal blue, a turquoise blue, and then into green. So that's all I got, which I'm not upset about that. I love it. I did think I would get the reds and oranges and reds in there, and I was a little worried that they might fade into the background, might be too matchy with the gold color. So this is like good contrast. I think you get a real good sense of the pattern there. Yeah. The other thing I did, I didn't make any modifications other than just using Spincycle yarn. Not that that's a modification. It's kind of an up thing. With my gauge was way off with what the pattern called for, and I wanted to knit it. She has you knit it on US size 4 or 3.5 millimeter needles, and I didn't want to go down needle sizes to make my yarn fit the gauge, so I ended up going keeping the size 4, US size 4, 3.5 millimeter, and going down sizes to get to the bust measurement that I wanted. So yeah, I'm knitting a size small, so it's going fast. Faster, I would say. Also color work, it's just so, especially with this type of yarn, like it's so nice to just see what's going to happen next. So you just want to do another row to see what's going to happen next, So that was it's been fun. It's been a really fun knit. I'm quite enjoying this. I would have made more progress on this if I had this one done. Like, I really need this to get done so that I can move on to other projects and do other things. Which brings me to my next potential whip. So I guess I'm in a good space for my creativity, because I did a couple what I thought were creative approaches to patterns. So I have been so I wanted to do, so I'm doing that for the dunderknit, the gold sweater for Rhinebeck, to wear to Rhinebeck on the Saturday. I usually wear something on the Friday as well. I'm going to go to the Needles Up event this time. I didn't get tickets. I think I said this last time. I didn't get tickets to Indie Untangled. I asked if anybody had one. So if anyone has one that they want to give up, or they know someone that, you know, if your plans change or whatever and you end up not needing the ticket, I'm happy to take any time slot for Indie Untangled. So, but I didn't get into that. But I am planning to go to Needles Up for sure, because a fiber person or two fiber people I think are going to be there. So one that I absolutely love, I'll talk about her when I get to spinning. But there is this other event that is Rhinebeck related. It is run by Christy Glass, and it's called it's a steek along. So I think what the idea is that you knit a sweater and steek it together on camera at Rhinebeck, and then that sweater becomes your Rhinebeck sweater. So I was watching Katie Jacks, I think that I have their name right. It's Caitlin and Jackie, and they're I think they're in the North Midwest region. I want to say Minnesota, but I might be wrong. Anyway, they have a YouTube channel, which I'll put out the name of their channel here on screen so that we're clear about who we're talking to. So I was watching that, and Jackie had done the throwback sweater by Andrea Mowry, and I've never made an Andrea Mowry pattern, not just because I've always been busy knitting other things. Nothing against her. I have nothing against her. I like her. I think she makes pretty patterns and stuff. She had done the throwback sweater, which was the huge Rhinebeck sweater that, you know, her newest latest pattern that was out, and her newest pattern that everyone, like I guess if you're like a cutting edge knitter who must knit the hottest pattern, people had been knitting it that for that weekend. So I saw a lot of throwback sweaters, and Spincycle was at Indie Untangled selling kits for throwback sweaters and stuff. So a throwback sweater is made out of magpie fibers and Spincycle. It's a DK weight sweater. Beautiful. Spincycle yarns, though, are so expensive. So when I went to Indie Untangled, I was kind of aware of the throwback sweater, not really paying too much attention to it. It just wasn't, I had other things that I was working on, and I had other things that I was planning to work on that I just didn't really shop for that sweater. But I picked up, as you just saw, other skeins of fingering weight. I actually bought their dyed in the wool yarns instead, which is the fingering weight / maybe sport weight. Does she say? Yeah, they actually say it's sport weight. So they're 200 yard put-ups. They're still like, I forget how much. So this, $32 it said I paid for 200 yards. So it's 50 grams. So it's half of as much as like an indie dyed skein, like of something like this. That would be $30. But you get 400 yards versus 200 yards. So I had just picked up a couple skeins that I was interested in, like the colors that I liked. And then I bought a couple other skeins like along the way. So I started to buy, and I ran into actually the Spincycle women at EYF and chatted with them a little bit. about their yarn and told them how much I loved it and how beautiful it was. And I used Spincycle yarn. The Dream State is their DK weight. That's the name of their base. I had used that in my sweater that I made up with the nightshades, Harrisville nightshades. The pattern name is escaping me right now, but the Papa sweater by Junko Okamoto. I had used I had one skein of the Dream State. Anyway, in a very long-winded way, I'm getting around to saying that I was interested when I saw Jackie's throwback cardigan. I was interested in making my own, and perhaps because she's planning to do the steek along with Christy Glass at Rhinebeck, because they're gonna go, and I was like, oh, that would be a fun sweater to do. And I was looking around at my stash, and I was like, I don't really have a lot of DK weight because I prefer to wear fingering weight. So I try not to buy too much DK weight. I try to just buy fingering weight, even though like I like knitting fingering weight better. But I realized that my DK weight sweaters, there's a narrower window in which I feel I can wear them. So the fingering weight I wear mostly year round. So I started to think about what I had and could I do, but since I had all of this fingering / sport weight, lighter weight Spincycle, could I use this with a fingering weight yarn I have, like sweater's quantity, like using my stash? Could I make a throwback sweater using fingering weight? And so I swatched. I made this little swatch right here. And then I got my gauge from the swatch. I did a little color tryout with the Spincycle yarns there, because you use 3 different colors of Spincycle, and it doesn't look like you use much, so I think partial skeins I'll be fine. I won't be using the full skein. So I then did the gauge and then looked for what gauge, what size would I have to make to get fingering weight, to make a throwback out of fingering weight but get it to fit me. So I'm lucky in that most patterns I kind of fall in the middle, so it's very easy for me to either go up or down size wise and still have a pattern to follow. I don't have to do any fudging really. If I just match my gauge to the stitch count to get the bust measurement that I want, I'm pretty much good to go. So I do have that advantage, which I know a lot of knitters don't have that advantage. So anyway, I went ahead and did that, and I am now planning to knit a fingering weight throwback. I'm a little hesitant about, not about the fingering weight, but about using this base yarn. I might change the base. I'm a little nervous about the color because it's kind of that quasi pink purple, which can only be described as mauve. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm gonna just see. I may start it and knit it, or I may think about it a little more. But I do really want to do this fingering weight. I think this is the way to go to do a good steek along. This fingering weight, this pinky mauve that I bought, is Tuca wool that I got at EYF. I bought it. It's 100% finished fingering weight wool that I bought in Isolde Teague's booth. I bought a sweater's quantity of it, and when I remember looking at the Tuca wool colors, and this was the color that I was most attracted to, and I really love it. I mean, I think it'll be flattering, and I think the colors that I'm going to use up here will be interesting. I'm planning to use up what you're seeing on top is the rest of this Truthbomb. Then the second color there is this other Truthbomb, which you can see I'll get quite a different color mixing. And then if I use all this up and need more, I can just pull from the other side or something, so I'm not worried about that. And then the fourth color I chose is this color here called Ruination, which is just a deep purple color with this like teal blue. So anyway, yeah, that is my plan for is my plan for the throwback sweater for my sneaking along. I will keep you posted. I really have been resisting casting this on. I've wanted to cast it on right away just to see how it looks and see if I like it, see if I like the colors, if I like it together. I think I'm going to. I think I'll be okay. I think with the shot of color is going to be really pretty, and I think that these colors are quite complementary to the base color. And this, you know, at the end of the day, this is kind of a neutral kind of, isn't it? Am I trying to convince myself? Am I protesting too much? All right. Anyway, moving on. Okay. Moving on. Okay, so yes, that's all my knitting. And now I have a little bit of spinning to talk to you about. So I have been spinning a lot. I gotta go get my spinning before I talk about that. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the spinning portion of my chat with you this week. I've been spinning quite a lot. So if you recall, I think last time I talked about this gorgeousness, this beautiful, beautiful yarn that I had spun from KimDyesYarn. It's fiber from KimDyesYarn. It is a merino silk blend, so it's 80% merino, 20% silk. And I talked about it last week, or 2 weeks ago. I had told you that if you're a returning viewer, you'll remember I had spun it too thin. So even though I did a 2-ply, because I so far have only done 2-ply until this is now a 4-ply. The 2-ply, even 2-ply, it was pretty much bordering on, like, one skein was like very light fingering / lace. The other one was 100% definitely lace. So I ended up with like 1,500 yards out of 8 ounces, which, yeah, that's pretty much lace. So I decided to do a 4-ply. So I took a portion of it. This is now a 450 or so yards, and it is a little over 100 grams. So it's probably like a light sport / heavy fingering weight now, so I'm super excited about that. I'm thinking I'm going to use it to make the Ranunculus sweater, because I think when I'm done plying, of course if I had 1,500 yards, I'll have about 700 yards 4-ply. When I am done plying it again into a 4th ply, I should have just enough for that sweater. But isn't it beautiful? The colors are just to die for. I love those bits of lavender that you see in there, and the pink. So by what I realized, by making it 4-ply, I have a skein here of the single ply or the 2-ply. It seemed like going from 2-ply to 4-ply, I got a lot more color coverage. So I think when I had the 2 skeins that were both 2-ply, one was a little bit more color saturated than the other one. So now I'm mixing them together, and I'm ending up with a good mix of the color going through all the skeins, or the whole skein. So I have a little trio of 2-plies left that I will be making into 4-plies. So I will be finishing up 2 of the skeins and then plying the other one on itself. Most likely I have to see how far I get, how far along in the process I get with making the yarn. But this is going to be roughly about 300 yards, these 3 skeins once I make them 2-ply. So this is something that needs to get back on the wheel. It's so long. It takes so long to process that much yardage. So I decided to take a little break from that after I made this. This is still a little damp, which was why I had it. I hadn't skeined it, hadn't quite twisted it up. So the fiber was this unique pencil roving that Kim had bought. I think it was an accidental purchase. She didn't know she bought pencil roving, and so she bought a small quantity of it and she dyed it up. It is the softest yarn in the world, I swear to God. So I am so excited. I think this is going to be a beautiful ranunculus sweater, which if I probably already put a picture on screen to show you what that sweater looks like. It's knit on very big needles, like size 11. So, and I think you're meant to hold 2 fingering weight together, or like a fingering and a lace. I think heavy fingering / sport weight is perfect for the gauge, but I haven't, of course, gauge swatched because again, still damp. I'm gonna finish the whole thing, and then I'll probably cake them. So maybe by the next time I podcast or make an episode, there will be you'll see these caked and swatched at least, and I'll be able to talk to you more. Oh, I had a viewer who was interested in like doing a Ranunculus along with me. So if you're interested in doing that too, what I'll do is I probably won't do it this week, but if just let me know you're interested in the comments, and I'll make a little, even if it's just 1 or 2 of us. It's just nice to have motivation to knit. So if you're interested in doing the Ranunculus, let's figure out when is good for good timing for everybody. Like maybe early September might be a good time to start, or maybe even into August. Like if people are anxious to get on the needles, and if there's enough. If it's more than just a couple people, I'll put it together a giveaway. Why not, right? So yeah, let me know if you're interested in doing the Ranunculus sweater and doing it together, like knitting together, even if, like I said, if there's just a couple of us. So that would really be fun. Okay, yeah. So I took a break from making that, and then I went ahead and spun this. I think I showed this to you last week as fiber, the Zero Waste from Alternate Universe in the UK. It is, she calls it Zero Waste because I think she uses up the bits and pieces of stuff that she has around in the studio, and she creates yarn or fiber roll-logs that you can then spin. So I had, I'll show you the tag. Colorway is called Snitch. I really love it. I love those little bits of orange in there. The orange is like a plant fiber. Mostly this is wool. Those little neps that you're seeing, the gold, black, and white neps, are wool. They went everywhere when I was spinning, and they went like, I had a few handful hitting the ground while I was spinning, but then when I plied, I really lost a lot, and then I lost a whole lot more when I washed it. This is the tag. So the colorway Stitch, you can see, or Snitch, after Harry Potter, you can see the percentages of the what is in it, as well as the additional percentages here. The camera always looks for faces. So it's 25% South Down, 7.5% wool neps, and 17.5% botany lap waist, as well as Echo Rose, Echo Bamboo, and yeah, those are the other 25%. Yeah, so it's really super nice. I don't know what I'll do with it. Maybe use it as an accent color. I think I was thinking it was going to be a fingering weight, but now that I've washed it, it's still also a little damp, so I haven't quite done all the tech on it. It looks more like DK to me, so I'll check it out though. It may be in that quasi, maybe in the sport weight category instead. Yeah, it really bloomed in the soak, so that's fine. There's always something to do. Oh, it's about 300 yards. So yeah, that would make it more sport weight. For 100 grams, 300 yards. So I bought 100 grams. I bought 2 50-gram packets of roll-logs and then plied them together. So yeah, quite lovely spin. The other spin that I did this week was, I had this, so it's experimental. It was totally experimental, but I had this epiphany that I could take single ply. So I was sort of, as I was working on the Vertices Unite baby blanket, and I was pulling from my fingering weight stash, which I have a lot of fingering weight individual skeins. I've talked about this before. I think I'm now down to 86? Yeah, I think I'm down to 86 single skeins of fingering weight yarn, which That's a ridiculous amount of single skeins. I totally blame Steven though, because I started to collect single skeins when I discovered him 2.5 years ago or so, and because I wanted to have a collection of single skeins to pull from to make his patterns. And after I'd made, I don't know, about 10 different versions of his patterns, I moved on to other things, and as you do, and didn't, and had collected all this single skein, and then I thought, well, I'll make socks, but then I realized that I'm really not into making socks, so yeah, I have all these single skeins. I have a bunch in D-stash though, and I'm gonna move a bunch more over in the coming year. I'll be moving some over, but nevertheless, I have moved over mostly all of my singles, because I realized that if you're not gonna make shawls, singles really aren't good for sweaters. They're not durable. I get elbow holes, which are fun to mend and stuff, but how many sweaters do you want to patch and stuff? So I really looking more for plied yarn for my sweaters, and sturdier yarn for those. And my single plies just kind of have been languishing, so I put a lot of them into my D-stash. I kept a few treasured skeins that may eventually end up in my D-stash, but more likely, because I did this little spinning experiment, I took some single ply that I loved, a rainbow based skein, because of the rainbow, the rainbow worked in my Vertices Unite baby blanket, and I decided to try plying it, and I am so happy with the results. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous yarn. This was originally a single ply fingering weight from Walk, the German, Catherine Walk, the German indie dyer. So it was 100% wool. I think it's superwash, fingering weight, in the colorway Deuce. And I will, if I have a picture, I'll put a picture on screen of what it looked like before, but this is what it looks like plied. It's just, look at that gorgeousness. This is going to be awesome in one of those baby blankets, like it as its own color. So this is about 210 yards of DK weight. I'm really happy with it. So I am going to now try to make more of those. So I pulled out more singles. These were all in my D-stash actually. Just a variety of fingering weight. Look at how this, wouldn't this be an awesome baby blanket? Look at that. I just need one more color, which I think I have plenty of. So, oh yeah, right here. There's my 5th color. So I could do like this orangey, peachy baby blanket, I think. I mean, if I run out, I'll have to see. I'll have to see how it goes, right? He said 5 colors, so that would be 5 colors. This would be 5 colors, potentially. I have others, though, so I could keep going. I could actually probably make 2. I need someone to have twin girls, and then I could give them that. So yeah, so I pulled out all of these singles. I have 6 skeins of single plies that I'm now going to ply on my spinning wheel, and have single DK weight skeins instead, which I can then knit into baby blankets or hats or things like that. But at least the project will be more durable because it will have some plying, and that strengthens the yarn. So plus look, it just is so amazing. So I'm really looking forward to sharing with you how all of these single ply skeins turn out. And these are all different. I think this is a Trey Liz, this is Spectrum Fiber, this is Stranded Dye Works, this is Orange Knits. This is beautiful, actually. This won't go with this pinky, purple, orange color palette, but it's really pretty. It's got sparkle in it, and I was really sad, actually, to have to put this in D-stash because it's a single. Now this could make a really cool hat, I think, because it's with the little sparkle, I think it's just perfect for a hat. So that'll be someone's Christmas present. But yeah, so I have them all living in my medium-size Fat Squirrel project bag, and I will be working on those over the next couple weeks. I'll be working on plying those, so very excited. Further spinning, news. I have, I don't know how much of this you're going to really be able to see, but on the bobbin waiting for me to ply, I have a lot of plying work to do, as you can see. So plying the pale pink silk merino blend I have, plying these. So these are going to get plied together. These were spun from Rolags that I got from Purple Alpaca Green Goat. Underneath this green, this like neon-y yellow green, is a purple color. So my plan is to ply this green with this melange green and purple. This is actually a good example, this bobbin right here, of what happens when you blend contrasting colors. You end up with sort of a browny color. I mean, certainly it has some interest up front, up close. You can see the pink bits in there, and there's little bits of blue, like turquoisey blue, and this lime green in it. But from afar, it just looks brown, looks tan. So that's what happens when you blend colors. But I mean, this was intentional. She had intentionally blended them this way. I bought a Rolag set. So my idea is to ply this neon green with this, to tone it down with this. I'll get a barber pole with these two together. If there's any of this left, I will barber pull that with the purple pink that's underneath the green, sitting underneath the green. So when I get to the green, when the green and purple are starting to transition, I'll cut the fiber and call that skein done, then put another bobbin on the wheel and do the purple barber pulled with this if there's still some of this left. I should end up with a really nice fingering weight. This is 95% merino, 5% bamboo. So that should be coming along. And so that's to ply. And then finally, I bought stash acquisition. I couldn't stop myself. I went ahead and purchased, I'm going to actually show you from this bag. I went ahead and purchased 8 ounces of Rolags from Classy Squid Fiber. She's the vendor that's going to be at Needles Up, who I am excited to see. This is her Valaris colorway, and you can see this beautiful black with a little bit of metallic glitter, and purple, a peach color, pink, turquoise, and inside are more colors. You really don't see them here, but I guess maybe you can see them there if the camera would focus. But to give you an idea of what the Rolags look like, that's them. There's this beautiful golden color that's supposed to be like sprinkling lights. It's supposed to be, it's inspired by the book A Court of Thorn, oh my gosh, I'm butchering it. I read them, they're wonderful. It's a trilogy, A Court of Thorn and Roses, I think. I'll put it on screen if I got it wrong. But this is inspired by one of the cities in that book that is part of the Night Court, and so a lot of shimmering night purple, a lot of purple colors, black colors, and I've seen other dyers inspired by that book as well, and that seems to be what you get. So yeah, I bought 8 ounces of this. And I couldn't resist trying to spin it right away. So this is the first Rolag spun on the bobbin, so you can get an idea. What you're not seeing is that I did the Rolag, I did the purple end first and then went to the black end. So what you're not seeing on this bobbin is all the purple that's underneath that. So when they ply together, hopefully those moments of purple will match up with moments of black, bobbin to bobbin, and so I'll make sure, like with this bobbin, I'll do purple to black, purple to black, purple to black with that bag, and then the other bag I'll do black to purple, black to purple. So then those moments of black and purple should match up together when I'm plying them, so it should be really pretty. And I was figuring out after I spun this, like I absolutely love it. It kind of reminds me of the nightshades in a way, like with the black, with barber pulling a little bit or blending with the colors. If I want to do a sweater's quantity, I think I need 2 more bags. So I bought 4 bags for 2-ounce bags. So I have 8 ounces of it. I think I need 4 more ounces to do a sweater's quantity. to be able to make a project. So I may go ahead. I checked out her website this morning. I just bought these this week, and she still has some. So I'm going to make that purchase and get going on that. So yeah, I have lots of spinning going on. My mom is visiting, and I've been spinning while I hang out with her, and so my arms yesterday were so tired because I did so much spinning yesterday. As you can see, that a lot of it I showed you just now. All right, I have one last thing to show you. It is this new stackquisition. It is a sweater's quantity of beautiful yarn from Moel Farms, Moel View Yarn. I think she's in Wales vicinity of, does it say on here, of UK? She's a UK dyer. She does a lot of natural dyeing. And she had a sale. So I've been following her for quite a while, and she had a new base. She announced a new base, and then she announced a sale. I don't know if I get her if I saw it in a newsletter, or because newsletters are like, if you find dyers that you really love, or independent makers that you love, getting the newsletter is the way to go, because they will announce things on the newsletter before they'll announce them on social media, and some of them only announce on the newsletter. So it's definitely the way to go if you want to be in the know on specials that they're having and stuff like that. So I bought this gorgeous BFL and silk blend. It's called Infallible. So it's 55% superwash BFL and 45% silk. It's so pretty. It's got a beautiful supple shine to it. I really love it. So I got 3 skeins, which should be a sweater's quantity. It's fingering weight. I have one confession, one sort of disappointment that I want to confess about, and that is that the color on my computer screen, I thought it was a little more purple. It turns out it's really similar to the Aran Weight yarn that I bought from Stranded Dye Works that I've already made into a sweater. I've made it into, oh my goodness, I'm not remembering anything, but I'm going to pop a picture of me in the sweater on screen and the name of it. I think it's a Katrin Schneider pattern, if I remember right. But it's super similar to that, so I was a little bit bummed by that. But you know what? I'll figure out something that'll be quite different from that sweater. Maybe some sort of lacy pullover, because silk will drape really nicely in lace. So maybe something with lace in it. I have a couple patterns in my queue that have lace sections, which could be pretty. So I don't know. We'll see. But it is really, really pretty, and I got a great deal. I think they were 20. She was having a 20% off sale. It's well over now. But she said, I want to encourage people to try something new, so I'm going to put things in her, because her yarn is not cheap, because there's so much handling to it. So I was super excited to be able to get some on sale. But that is it for me this week. I think it's enough, right? I haven't been as productive as I thought I would be, because a lot of life things have gotten in the way. I've been researching Italy to take that trip that I'm doing in October. It is right after Rhinebeck, so it's going to be kind of a hectic time of year for me right there in October, but I'm so excited about going to Italy. I love, love, love Italy. So I've been researching that, and I've been doing other life things, other things that have just like interfered with my crafting time, or made it so that I'm doing less crafting, because I really thought I'd have this sweater done this weekend, but here it is Sunday, and I'm not going to finish it this weekend. I might finish that sleeve tonight if I stay on it and just keep working on it. But anyway, just thank you for watching, and thanks for being a viewer, and I wish you happy crafting and happy making and a lovely next couple weeks, and I'll check in with you again soon. Bye!